thing I did appreciate from you, and I don't think the payoff ever happened, which is a shame. It's probably because of COVID and all the rest of it. When you're in the studio, I appreciated that every morning you would go and do your little Jimmy Fallon shtick, because I feel like you do that long enough, someone will show him and he'll be like, this guy's been coming every morning. Let's get him in here. Scotty Tweedy, come on down. You're like...
It's funny because to half my friends, I'm like, I pretend like I'm mates with Fallon and he's hanging around all the time. Doesn't work like that. He's a machine. He's got his whole team there. We do share the same corridor, yes. But we're in there so early. I was never going to see Fallon at all. But I did find a guy in a bar who was his I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. It was his air flight attendant on his private jet when he flies around America. And he goes, mate, I've seen your morning Jimmy things. He's like, I'm going to show him. And this is like 2 weeks before COVID hit. So that was going to be my big...
I told you. I knew it was going to be something. You could have been Jimmy's air flight attendant. This is the thing. You could be serving him things on a flight.
Morning, Jimmy. Coffee?
Morning, Jimmy. It should be mentioned, Scotty, tough on you. You moved to New York and your partner was going to move to New York not long after there. That's tough to go through that and have to be separated in that sense. Grace and I are now in lockdown and Kane's living life as he probably always has.
Travels is calling me up going, you wouldn't believe it, I just built a shed. And I'm like, what are you doing with a shed? Look, sure, really quickly, I know you guys in Melbourne are going through hell and back at the moment because it's bloody tough. For me, it was just been a roller coaster in the last 6 to 12 months. It's your dream gig, move here, started in production, started live every day. That was also really tough because our team was split between LA and New York and we were undercooked. We were literally, it felt like they produced and made these shows with not enough people, really. So we're live on air and things just aren't appearing. But that's just teething problems of a new show. So I had that challenge. Then COVID, my girlfriend couldn't get here. New York, we were like locked in. And then, although, to be honest, not locked in to the extent you guys are. Like we never had to actually stay in our homes. We could walk around whenever we wanted. It was just more of a... It was kind of just a respect to the community that you do your part and only leave once a day for a walk or a coffee, but you were never enforced. There was never police here going, where do you live? You should be home right now. So I think you guys...
$1,600 fine in Melbourne. $1,600 fine.
It's pretty
Grace and I were laughing before you got on, saying it's a good topic of conversation. What would you do for the cost of $1,600 if you go outside the 5K radius? What would be worth?
Who got fined the $1,600 for getting a butter chicken?
Well, Kane,
for buttered chicken.
I haven't seen my girlfriend in 8 months, so
there you go.
Oh,
$1,600.
beautiful.
$1,600.
Bloody good night. Everything. That's a bloody good night. Well, look, all of you aside, let me tell you, what is not fun is a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old all day, every day inside your house. And a 3-year-old boy as well. Boys are mad. So it's fair to say I'd do anything to get outside my house more than I'm allowed to. But we're in this together.
Can you go to the park?
Yeah, you're allowed 1 hour. And let's be honest, there's no one out there with a stopwatch going, that's 59 inside. Like, I'm sure there are people taking a little bit of grace with that. But it's more that, like, there's no daycare. So there's no respite for those parents who did have their kids in daycare. And the 5K thing, it's not the end of the world. Masks, I'm not a huge fan of masks, and I'm sure they're helpful, but it's like I hate pushing my daughter in a pram, and I'm like this. She can't see my face. Hopefully it keeps going down, and we'll be out of this.